Hey folks, this is Real Honesty with John Ritland. I'm John Ritland. This is the second part of my top 20 best WCW rivalries. I did the first part a couple weeks ago and then did the first part of the worst list a couple weeks ago, and I'll just do these here and there you know, among the free time that I have, which admittedly isn't going to be much. That's why I'm cranking out some WCW shows because I figured WWE kind of at a low period, actually has been at a low period for a bit. So hey, WCW is fun to reflect on, and I was a big WCW fan, mark, whatever you want to call, back in the day. And I still watch pay-per-views even now, here and there. So that's why I'm doing these. So there were some great WCW rivalries. There were admittedly some bad ones, hence why I'm doing a bad list also. I did best WWE rivalries a while ago. That did okay, for a little show I produce on my phone. So why not continue the best WCW rivalries? So I did 20 through 13 on my previous video. So now I'm going to do 12 through whatever. So Vader versus Cactus Jack is going to be number 12. And to be honest, from the time that they feuded a little bit, on one-off matches and stuff like that, maybe on house shows. But once it got to 1993, they really elevated everything. Like, you had their Saturday night's not Saturday night's main event, but their WCW Saturday night match. They had a couple matches where they wrestled and everything, and Jack really took it to Vader, and they had feuded before anyway in other promotions, but really their WCW time was where they really got a chance to shine. And then you had where Cactus Jack clotheslined Vader and knocked him over the guardrail, knocked the guardrail over with with him. You had Vader breaking Cactus Jack's nose. Cactus Jack got knocked out at one point and lost his memory. The whole Lost in Cleveland thing, that was absolute crap. But then you had the big comeback, and Cactus Jack and Vader had the Texas Death Match. I believe it was a Texas Death Match at Halloween Havoc 1993. Some of the stipulations tend to blend together. I remember it being brutal and bloody and great fun, and it just belongs on here because of the great matches that they provided. And at one point, Cactus Jack lost a damn ear. He lost a damn ear during this feud. It was in Germany, and it was when the ropes were tightened too much, and it pushed the ear off, which is gross, and Foley never got it fixed. It led to, a lot of development with his character later in WWE, because WCW failed to capitalize on it, because they failed to capitalize on a lot of things that weren't WWE stars. But Vader and Cactus Jack had a great feud, and really provided a lot of great moments. Now we go to the Road Warriors and the Koloffs. Really, this is when the Road Warriors, even though they were heels, they weren't really acting. They didn't change anything about their characters, but when they faced the Koloffs, the whole USSR, USA thing, Warriors made, good guys instantly, made for great matches. Whether it was Great American Bash, the Great American Bash Tour, whether it was in any cage matches, war games, whatever, they made. I don't know if they ever faced off in any of the war games. They might have in one of the house show, non-televised ones. But I just remember the Road Warriors and the Koloffs having a really, really good feud just from about 85, 86 to 87, something like that. I want to say about that, but some of the years blend together for me, but I do remember just any Road Warrior and Koloff matches, it was just bulls just colliding and just hitting each other. And you had Barry Darsow, who was Crusher Khrushchev. He had trained with the Road Warriors. So there was a mutual partnership and rivalry and whatever there, and they always wanted to prove that they could be the best. And really, what it was just the Road Warriors to me helped establish Nikita Koloff as quite a dominant force, and it really worked. It was a very, very good feud, very good tag team feud. Number 10, Ricky Steamboat versus Rick Rude. They had some good matches in WWE in late 87, early 88, especially at the first ever Royal Rumble in 1988. That was a pretty good match, pretty good undercard match. And then WCW, they just had great matches, especially in 92. Like the Iron Man match, the 30-minute Iron Man match at Beach Blast 92 was absolutely amazing. It was so great. The way that Rick Rude, got DQ'd by going off the top rope and hitting a knee and stuff like that, hitting a big move. But, so it put him down a fall, but then he got a couple of falls up on Ricky because Ricky was all damaged. And it was just great psychology and everything. And that might be the main reason, that one match might be the main reason this was on the list so high. Because other rivalries that I had listed had more matches. But this just felt so personal. It was between two tremendous workers, two tremendously underrated. Rick Rude's more underrated than Ricky Steamboat is, in my opinion. Ricky Steamboat gets talked about quite a bit as like a great worker. Rude really needs to be talked about a lot more. It needs to be in the Hall of Fame. It's great that Ricky Steamboat's in the Hall of Fame, as he should be. But yeah, just Ricky Steamboat and Rick Rude, that Beach Blast 92 Iron Man match was just wonderful. They'd had other matches before and after that, but that was like the peak of their feud, and it was just wonderful. Number 9, Flair versus Luger. Yes, I do not like Luger. No, I don't. But I give credit where credit is due as far as Luger having good matches with some people. Flair was one of them. Great American Bash 88, Starrcade 88, let's see, 89, was it 89? I know it was Wrestle War 90, Wrestle War Wild Thing, gross. But I don't know why that title grossed me out, but that one there, they had, I know that Luger was a heel in 89, a bit. Well, no, he wasn't a heel in 89. He turned heel a little later. But the matches they had in 88 were really good, especially when Luger thought he won the title Great American Bash and almost won the title at Starrcade 88, which was a classic of a main event, and proved that Flair could draw money and do well with anybody. And then, yeah, Wrestle War Wild Thing, when Sting suffered his knee injury right after Starrcade 89, they had to slot Luger in, and Luger did well in a cage match. Which was it a cage? Was it the cage match? I might be confusing that with Capital Combat. I think it was might have been Capital Combat. I don't know. I do remember though that Wrestle War Wild Thing was a really, really good match, and you had Sting come down on the crutches and stuff like that, and that was really, really good. And actually, Luger had almost had Flair beaten and went to check on his friend. They'd always have really, really good matches. Later in years, maybe not so much, but for those two peak years, about 88, 89, 90. Were just really, really good. I mean, just proved that Flair could drag any good match out of anybody. Number 8, the Horseman versus Dusty. I can't encapsulate how great this feud was. You had it go from before Starrcade 84, when you had the $1 Million Challenge with Dusty and Flair, and then into Starrcade 85, when Dusty was going for the title and trying to beat Ric Flair for it, and you had the Horseman take out Dusty's knee and take out his arm and take out just various things, and Dusty and Flair could talk anybody into a building and do great. I can't encapsulate how great this feud was in a little countdown. I would need an entire show to do that, but just trust me, the amount of great theater that these men produced, and it's like all these men, all the Horsemen, from J.J. Dillon on up to Ric Flair, Tully, Arn, Ole, it was great stuff. And Dusty was the great, perfect common man to show that he could stand up to the Horsemen and do so well. And then we go to number 7, Hogan versus Flair. While I loathe putting Hogan so high on here, facts are facts. I mean, especially in 94, especially for Bash at the Beach 94, when WCW had done better and had turned things around up to that point. But my God, if this wasn't just a great way to push this feud up even further, it was wonderful. It was wonderful stuff. The match, to me, was some of their finest work, because Flair was entertained. Hogan worked a little differently. He used the arm bar and everything like he used in Japan. Using his Japanese matches, because Hogan was a heel over there, oddly enough. I guess not oddly enough, because I could see why he would work more as a heel over there against the Japanese wrestlers. But Hogan used those kind of moves, and Flair would wear him down and everything, and use the knees, and work on Hogan's knee and stuff. Bobby Heenan was great as a heel, absolutely amazing, just anti-Hogan. It was wonderful. And Hogan, of course, gained the win at that point. Boom, 1-2, I mean, you knew it was going to happen. And then they feuded into Halloween Havoc 94, which was not a great cage match, but they still made it work the best they could. And they feuded in other years, and especially in 96 and 97. And then the problem is by the time it got to 99, 2000, you're like, really, we do not need to see this again. Their 99 uncensored cage match was not very good. But still, I take nothing away from the fact that for a few years, they really provided a great feud and great rivalry, and they worked really well together. It was easy stuff to watch with these two titans clashing. So anyway, that's where I'm going to leave that off. So I did 12 through 7, and then I'm going to do 6 through 1 on a future show. Do you agree so far with what I said? Do you disagree? Like, share, comment, and subscribe as always. My Twitter link is in the description. It's been Real Honesty with John Ritlin. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.